an altercation backstage on Wednesday, a cancelled press conference on Thursday. Khamzat weighs 7.5 pounds over the limit on Friday, followed by a historical and preferred main card reshuffling. Was this intentional and a pre-planned publicity stunt? UFC President Dana White has announced a rare rearrangement of the fight program for UFC 279. Barely 24 hours before the event. The unusual adjustments are the consequences of Khamzat Chimaev weighing in 7.5 pounds overweight for the initial main event between him and Nate Diaz earlier on Friday. Nate Diaz will now face Tony Ferguson in the main event, while Khamzat Chimaev will face Kevin Holland in the co-main event, and Jingliang will now face Daniel Rodriguez after previously being scheduled to face Ferguson. Rodriguez was supposed to face Holland before the last-minute game of musical martial arts. It also removes the issue around the fight, since Diaz had no interest in fighting Chimaev and has wanted to fight Ferguson the entire time, as he wants to complete the remaining fights in his UFC contract. The question of whether the UFC was attempting to feed one of its famous names, Diaz, to one of the hottest up-and-comers, Chimaev, may no longer loom over this current show, but it remains to be seen if it will be addressed in the near future. In an interview, Dana White has said Khamzat apparently had a bad weight cut. His body was locking up and cramping. A doctor was called and advised Chimaev to not continue with the weight cut. The replacement show is no show of drama, as Holland and Chimaev apparently got into a physical incident on Thursday, leading to the cancellation of the UFC 279 pre-fight press conference. Due to an absolute shit show backstage, including a physical conflict between many fighters and their separate camps, UFC President Dana White was forced to cancel Thursday's news conference minutes after it began. The press conference was planned ahead of Saturday's UFC 279, which features a welterweight fight between Khamzat Chimaev and former UFC lightweight championship contender Nate Diaz. According to White, an argument happened between Kevin Holland, who is fighting on the undercard, and Chimaev. However, the fight did not end there, according to various sources, after players and their respective camps were involved in the argument as well. According to Ariel Helwani, a long-time MMA reporter, no injuries were recorded, but punches, kicks and even objects were thrown. Khamzat Chimaev appears to have no remorse following the backstage incident prior to UFC 279, which resulted in an unusual cancellation of the pre-fight news conference. More information regarding the backstage brawl has emerged, but Chimaev has remained unrepentant. In regards to the fight, he commented on his Instagram story, "I warned them not to make fun of us. Kevin received exactly what he deserved. Diaz got exactly what he deserved." According to ESPN, Chimaev approached Holland backstage, causing some shoving, and bystanders attempted to separate the two before hitting Holland with a front kick. Chimaev was then dragged by Jingliang and Tiki Gosen, as well as venue security, before Holland pursued him while the two were separated. Diaz's squad members then noticed Gosen and Chimaev together and allegedly took anger at seeing Gosen, a presumed ally, standing beside Chimaev. They then began yelling at him until several members of Diaz's team chose to throw bottles towards Gosen and Chimaev's team, with Gosen being struck in the head and getting many slaps and kicks. At today's UFC 279 ceremonial weigh-ins, Nate Diaz had some choice words for Khamzat Chimaev and Khabib Nurmagomedov. During his critical evaluation of Chimaev's behaviour after failing to make weight, Diaz had already launched a blatant shot at Nurmagomedov, who is now retired from the UFC. Despite Nurmagomedov putting up his gloves and focusing on his own MMA organisation, Eagles FC, Ferguson is certain he has the credentials to entice him back from his hiatus if he defeats Diaz. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.